Cool,
So
cool.
hello everyone. My name is Lily. English name is Lily, and Chinese name is Wei Li Hui. So yeah, so that's my name. I'm Think Healthy founder. Also at the same time doing a nonprofit project. I don't know whether it's nonprofit or not. Some people told me that doesn't count as nonprofit, but I don't care. So the project name is The Voice of Eco-Friendly Action. So I already did 2 videos. Maybe it's not perfect, but at least I did it. So next step, I'm going to interview some of my friends who's very interested in this project and know something about eco-friendly action in the world. So the first one is Tim.
All right.
You
Hi,
can introduce
everyone.
yourself.
All right.
So here's from Toronto, and there is Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
where's Arizona?
Oh yeah, it's down south near Mexico.
Oh, really? That's why. You see, because
Yeah.
my side Toronto is snowing from yesterday. First snow like after the autumn. Arizona is super great. I see the sunshine, I see the green trees.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's completely different.
It's like 70 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Perfect.
You can
Uh,
have beer outside.
yeah, beer outside, and
Yeah.
during the summer we pay for it. It's really hot, but in the winters we really enjoy it down here, and lots of Canadians come down here to get away from the cold.
I know, winter time, now we have to fly.
Yeah, you have to fly down here. Yeah, no doubt.
Enjoy the summer there. Uh, yeah, so because I'm doing this eco-friendly voice of eco-friendly action, I'm making different videos. Right now we have we're gonna talk about what we know in the world. Basically, actually, we're gonna talk about what we know in our city first and our background. So
Yeah.
start from there.
All right.
So currently, what you're doing?
Sure. I'll go into that. I just a few months ago I started an advocacy firm
Mm-hmm,
focused on sustainability,
mm-hmm,
and specifically, I believe in it for many reasons, but the what I'm focused on in the business is making the business case for sustainability, for sustainable action, and mainly working here in Arizona with our Arizona legislature, and
mm-hmm.
also our local advocates in other areas that align with sustainable action, and yeah, and that's what I do currently. Do you want me to tell you about my background a little bit as well?
If you wanna,
Yeah, let me go into my background. So I've worked.
yeah, tell
Let
us
me go-
anything you like to tell. Like you feel
okay,
great, you know?
fantastic. Yeah, so I've worked both in the private sector and the public sector, mostly here in Arizona,
Mm-hmm,
but I've worked for in our state legislature as an analyst, as a research analyst, and
mm-hmm,
also a budget analyst for a couple of our governors here in Arizona.
mm-hmm.
And so on the policy side, mostly in budgeting and finance. I've also worked for American Express as a financial analyst over the Americas, the U.S., Canada, Argentina, Mexico, and the Caribbean, specifically focused on card issuance operations.
Mm-hmm.
I've been I guess, an amateur environmentalist for quite a long time, since high school. I think I joined the Greenpeace Club in high school, and that's where it started out, and uh, then probably reconnected with it back in the past decade or so. It's been really on everybody's radar, and I want to be part of that change that's happening, and that raised consciousness that's happening about our impact on the environment in the world. And so that's why I've started this advocacy firm, and that's what I'm dedicated to.
Great, great, great. Interesting that because I know there is a Greenpeace in Canada, in Toronto, very
Mhm.
close to where I lived before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Actually, at the beginning, I didn't know what it's about, so I searched a little bit, and
Mhm.
basically it's a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
So only when I come to Canada, like in Toronto, I see a lot of actually non-profit organization here. So that's why today we're gonna talk about what we know, because actually I didn't do anything in China about that, because my background is all about biotechnology in biomedicine science. So it's all about research. So either being doing any kind of research project like PhD study, master study, or postdoc study, or research assistant study. But those studies in different field makes me feel like, if I, for example, brain cancer or liver cancer, actually they are all related with some environment issues. Not completely, but at least some are. For example, like in China, because there are some cancer villages that's really related to, but not all of them. That's what I'm concerning. So that's why I'm really like want to know a lot of people what's their opinion about this issue in the world. So I try to find as many as friends that I can find in the world, and to support this project and to see what's our opinion, because everyone's opinion really matters, because when we talk about it, maybe we'll have some good ideas coming out, and to let people know, and they may have some interesting ideas they can make it into project, and then make it happen someday.
Yeah.
So that's my good wishes to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, all those, it's interesting to see like the cancer nexus, and climate change and sustainability. And I think an important thing to do is like kind of research, in our global consumer economy, especially for people like us that maybe have a little bit of disposable income, is to do a lot of research in the products we're buying, and making sure that they're operating responsibly, making sure that they're not polluting, not causing, not polluting the water source or the air, or, it's doing their best that they can, and choosing those products. And sometimes they're a little bit more expensive, but I try to do that in my life, just kind of vote with my wallet, buy the products that are a little more ecologically sustainable, and do the companies. And you can do the best you can on the research. It's not always easy to find out, but you can. There is a lot on the internet now that wasn't there before, where you can find out about the background of the companies, and kind of what they do and their reputation.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people actually still not sure about this domain, because people say people also have different opinions in this field. And interestingly, I found Toronto when I joined the Eco Fair. There's a lot of nonprofit organization. There's some kind of called eco anxiety. because maybe we wanted the environment to be better so much, and we got anxious when people don't agree with us, because some people, they only care about maybe the profit when they do business. It's important too, because if we don't have money to survive, how can we protect the environment? It's also very important. We do need to care about us. Okay, so let's I think we did a lot of the background. So and so we're gonna go into our questions today.
Great.
So the first question, let us see, is about the plastics. Very important part in my project. So the question is, what is the connection between first of all, before we talk about the plastic, we're going to talk about the connection between pollution and climate change. Because I remember you told me something before, but to be honest, I'm kind of like not very sure, even though everyone's talking about there's a definite relationship between climate change. Is it just association with it, or it's like most people know that the pollution will definitely cause a climate change? I feel like they are like majority, maybe 95% of the people's opinion, or they have like certain data, to prove that. What's your opinion? What do you know about it?
So what I know about it is, so the people that really look at it,
Mm-hmm.
are the climate scientists, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the scientists that actually work in that space and look at it for years and years and know the data really well. And
Yeah.
something like it's like 97% of climate scientists agree that climate change is human caused, and the connection between pollution and climate change is basically the issue is we're digging up fossil fuels from under the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and right now they're buried, and then we
Mm-hmm.
burn them and create pollution in the atmosphere. So different
Mm-hmm.
greenhouse gases we basically burn and put in the atmosphere, and that creates a greenhouse effect. So the heat, and I'm not a scientist or an expert, but the heat that
Yeah.
comes into the Earth's atmosphere cannot escape. So it creates an overall increase in the global temperature on average
Mm-hmm.
over time. And I think right now it's like, we're on track already for at least a degree and a half increase in overall average temperature over the year. And if it
Mm-hmm.
goes above like 2 or 3%, I mean, the impacts are catastrophic. They cause, it causes like certain areas of the world to be uninhabitable anymore,
Mm-hmm.
causes rise in sea level that's going to take out some of the beach areas that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, the majority of the world's population lives close to the ocean,
Yeah.
and so it's if you take out that the sea levels rise because the ice caps melt,
Mm-hmm.
it takes out that area. It's already happening, here in the U.S. I think we've had, I've participated in conversations with some tribal governments
Mm-hmm.
who their traditional homelands are in areas that are in sort of like erosion zones due to the rising of the ocean level.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've basically they're having to move their homelands to somewhere else to move them further inland, which is like, and people that are on the shore
Mm-hmm.
are going to, right now it's the most expensive property anywhere, but it's going to be impacted by this climate shift. It's already going to happen, but we can, if we make action to reduce the amount of fossil fuels that we burn and put
Mm-hmm.
up in the atmosphere, then we can sort of mitigate at least the worst impacts of that in the future. But it's things like driving, cars, and it's like all this shipment that takes place. It's the coal powered electricity factories, uh,
Mm-hmm.
all those, the manufacturing process for consumer goods. It's all that contributes to it. Also, our food source, like uh, cattle, produce a lot of methane. That goes
Mm-hmm.
to the into the atmosphere in the form of greenhouse gas and increases that greenhouse effect. So that's basically what I think the connection is to between pollution and greenhouse and climate change. Of course, in China, I've been to China, I've been to Beijing, Shanghai,
Mm-hmm.
but Beijing was the one that I noticed the worst. And they have just there it's like just some days it's just dark and smoggy all day, and that's something even beyond regular climate change, because you have all those greenhouse gases, but then you have like the pollution also gets trapped in the city, and
Mm-hmm.
so it creates a health issue for the people that live there because you're breathing in that
Yeah, I
all
know.
day long. So that's another problem with
When did
pollution.
you go to China to see that?
I was there in, I think it was 2010 or 2011. I was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back. I need to go back, I guess.
Oh, right
Um,
now it's terrible. Right now it's going back is
yeah, I'll wait
a
until,
lot of longer time to wait in the hotel or 2 weeks isolation, another 2 weeks if you change change a province, like it's a little bit complicated.
Yeah, traveling anywhere right now during the pandemic is just
Yeah.
too much of a hassle. I'll stay here in area.
Temporarily, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's also, but the good thing is during the pandemic, the environment is really good.
Yeah, it did help a little bit. It made a temporary. See, the issue was it made like a temporary, like there was a temporary benefit,
Hmm.
but then with the economy the way it is, it caused like just, and it still caused like pent up demand, which means like there's people that aren't like buying stuff or doing stuff right now, but
Yeah.
then whenever the pandemic ends, then they're going to open up their wallets again and start spending and doing things. And
Mm.
so it's a, I think it's a temporary benefit. We need to, but if everybody, yeah, just stop doing stuff, that
But
would
the
be
thing is, there is a news about the variant
yeah,
from Africa.
yeah, yeah,
If it's keep on going on, it's gonna be isolation all the time, and there's not a lot of opening.
yeah.
It's not good for the economics, but it will be good for sure for the environment.
It'll be good for the environment
There's
temporarily,
always
but
like
yeah,
good advantage and disadvantage of stuff.
yeah, yeah. But really, I think overall the solution to climate change is not. It doesn't need to be everybody just stopping doing what they're doing, you know, and living a small life. It needs to be us getting together, you know, developing the technology, being all in on doing that, you know, having like transportation that is more sustainable, building those options, you know, like better public transportation, uh,
Yeah,
and holding our companies to account to make sure that they have environmentally safe practices and have like net zero climate goals, like some of the big companies like Google, Amazon, you know, they have climate goals to get to a net zero position as
mm-hmm.
far as their you know, the pollution that they add to the environment. And so it's
Exactly.
good to have that expand to every business and have like government policy that enables that. Because if you're a small business, you can't. It's hard. You're running on small margins, so you can't always like, you know, do more. But if the government helped and we all kind of work together, we can make that happen without, you know,
Mm-hmm.
huge impacts. But the longer we wait, the worse, you know, the worse that kind of transition and that the pain's going to be. So
Sure.
it's very similar. I work in the finance world, and if you wait, like for instance, if we have like an economic crash, you know, and you have
It's
to change
happening
your
now.
budget, you don't wait until the last month of the year. You
Yeah.
do it as early as you can and make those changes, because then the impact is less spread out over the time. And so that's the same thing with climate change. We don't want to wait until we start seeing all the dramatic effects of it. We want to do stuff now so that we can spread out the changes that we have to make in our lives to make this happen, you know.
Sure, the action is right now.
Right now, it needs to happen right now.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
environmentalist will say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we're gonna talk about that's what I said the first time. What I'm very interested about the plastic part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Plastic.
a big
Yeah.
issue. I had my snacks here.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
know it's a bad habit. You know, you have so many kind of snacks, and then they are all this kind of. I'm not talking about a specific brand, so don't look at the brand. So we
No,
are
no.
not giving it. It's not about. They are really good food. I really love the food. But it's really all plastic. I mentioned in my last video that because these plastics actually really good material, really good material, and if they really put the sign of the recycling thing, they would definitely can. We don't need to throw it in the black bin. And there are some company actually are recycling these bags.
Yeah.
I think there is called a TerraCycle, but for their benefit, they won't do it like from individuals, from those like household, like one by one go to knock the door. It's like kind of ridiculous. So I didn't think about a better way, but maybe people who watch this video, they will think about a better way to change the situation, like how are we going to collect these plastic? Because even though there's some food inside, but once you finish the food, actually the plastic actually is very clean still.
Yeah.
But if we dump it in the black bin, and then gonna be destroyed with all the dirty stuff, and then you don't want to collect it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because there's like a huge plastic island just floating in the ocean that's like bigger than the size of Texas, I think, out in the middle of the ocean. It's just plastic everywhere. And so you have that problem. And then you have all of the plastic produced, and as it kind of erodes, it creates these microplastics, and animals ingest it and stuff in the ocean, and it just, it wreaks havoc. It kills them. And so I'm about like on plastics. Personally, what I do in my life is I try to just select products that are not plastic or that have more sustainable packaging. And then if I can't find something that doesn't, have sustainable plastic, maybe I just don't even buy that type of product.
Yeah, there
or
are few
select something
markets.
else.
Yeah. There are few markets you can just take your bag and take your not plastic bag and go there and just pick up several onions, several fruits you want, and then you come back without. But some big companies, like here, those kind of small or big supermarket, they still use the plastic thing for the meat or for everything, for the vegetable or for the snacks. It's still a trend because to be honest, it's really convenient. If you don't bring your own bag, just go there and buy stuff. It's really convenient. And I feel like maybe because of we have that habit that we want to do things like in a hurry. That's why we don't need to think, oh, our life is easy now. Our life is easy now just to buy like, some snacks with the plastic. It's easy because if we eat anywhere, we jump in our car, we take our snacks and then we eat, and then we just throw out those garbage. It's easier for our life. Our daily life we feel that the quality goes up when we use the plastic, but actually it's not true, because actually we have more anxiety because our life is happening too quick. Like we are hurried to earn money, but we don't think about the impact of the environment at the same time. If we can slow down our pace in life, actually we slow down the pace to pollute it too.
No doubt.
But so eventually, I don't know whether it's really an environment problem or it's a
mindset or spirituality,
or it's economic thing, or it's a way of people's mindset thing. You're right. That was what you said. So sometimes I also will go inside of this kind of philosophy thinking, and hard to take myself out, because when I see it, when I talk with people, my friends will talk about the philosophy part. And then the conversation just goes on and never ends. But I said we need to come back to the earth to talk about reality first. Maybe our focus, when our focus change, we will change everything. So right now we're just think about.
I'm on that track too. I do believe, like, as I've tried to live more conscious with the environment, and I have like sort of like in some ways like downshifted my life to be more like simple. And you hit this sweet spot where it's like, wow, living sustainably has financial benefits, it has health benefits to my physical body. Like I ride a bicycle a lot, and that has health benefits. It has mental health benefits because I'm not so like harried and hurried and thinking like, I got to buy this, I got to buy this, I got to buy that. It's, and it has spiritual benefits, I believe, as well, like balance, feeling a balance with nature and a connection to other people. Like, I don't like the idea that, me driving a vehicle all the time is contributing to an increase in global temperatures, or me buying a bunch of products, is contributing to an increase in global temperatures, which is, even in a small way. There's people we just found out in Pakistan, Jacobabad is the town. They hit what's called wet bulb temperatures, which means certain days, if you go outside and you spend more than a certain amount of time outside, your body temperature would rise so high that it would kill you.
Oh,
They have reached, yeah, it's called wet bulb temperatures. And that has happened in the middle of the desert in Pakistan. But that's
interesting.
coming for all of us if we don't change our lifestyles, you know. That's coming for all of us. That's going to happen for all of us. It's a problem. It's a problem. And
Yeah.
so when then they have to migrate to somewhere else, and then the other country says, well, we don't want to let them in, you know, and they're like, where do we go? Because we can't live here where we used to live. We have to go somewhere else. Beyond like the problem that causes to like the ability to grow crops in that area or whatever. It's just I think people don't understand that, like, hey, if I buy a bunch of stuff, a bunch of crap, and I keep like living that kind of consumerist lifestyle, and I drive my car all the time and buy a new car every year and just contribute to that cycle, I'm actually really impacting, you know, people across the world. So kind of understand that connection that we have with each other, I think, is important. You know, we're all in
Yeah. But
Yeah.
a lot of people won't aware it because, like, how can we imagine a butterfly effect from Pakistan here?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
people can't like imagine that effect most of the time because we are
Yeah.
focused so much on our daily life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but social media
Yeah.
right now is really having a great influence us. Let us connect to everything. We are on the same earth.
Yeah. Yeah. We've evolved that way to be like in our own little worlds and like just kind of have blinders on and be like, this is me and this is my family and I'm taking care of my family and giving them the best that I can right now. But I think there's a lot to like I said, like expanding your mindset and who you include as your family to like the entire planet, you know. To me, that's like
Exactly.
that brings a lot of joy to my life. So but
Great.
yeah,
Thanks for
no problem.
your way
Well,
to say about. I love the.
I wanted to validate your like spiritual like balance side. I like it.
I love your way to say talk about Pakistan because for me I feel like it's so far away.
Yeah, it's far away. It is far away.
it's it's like under the earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to travel like maybe 12 hours,
Yeah.
15 hours flight to go there, and I've never been there. So
Yeah.
okay, so next question we're gonna talk about electronic car because I really love Tesla car. I did it in my vlog. Talk about I rented a Tesla car.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's electronic, of course, there's a lot of companies, Japanese company, they may use better, you know, better energy. What's it called? Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. Yeah. Hydrogen or
And, yeah.
solar, electricity. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like Tesla better because it looks better. That's only because of look, but I'm sure there's a lot of different brands have electronic car. Interestingly, I heard from some YouTubers, they say that the Tesla car actually the inside is a complete whole piece of plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that we are not using the fossil anymore, but we're not using the gas, but we are using the electricity, but the car is made of plastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think people really don't like, I think there's something to say for like if you had an old like gas powered, you know, car and your choice was to like get rid of that if it was still like working or buy a Tesla, you know, you need to do like an analysis of that to see like what actually is the best benefit, because in buying a brand new electric car, you're also like there's a manufacturing process to that as well that is like has a big carbon footprint, you know. For a brand new Tesla, you know, it does contribute to climate change, even if when you get the car it's pretty clean. It still does rely on the grid, the electric grid, which is partially fossil fuel driven. but so it's not the worst, but you can't be like, oh, I have a Tesla, so I'm good. I don't have to do, I'm good. I don't have to do anything else. Like, it's kind of like, look at that thing kind of objectively, because it's not always the best choice to buy a brand new, electric car
Yeah.
over driving your old, gas guzzler, because that manufacturing process. And I think that's what people don't maybe take into account a lot is the manufacturing process of that car and how
Yeah.
costly that is in the environment.
Normal people don't know about it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure because I've never worked there, and I heard that Tesla, they use all the AI system to do it.
Yeah.
All the car making system is AI. Yeah, I also heard that news in China, like when they visit the factory, everything inside, actually there's less people inside to be the engineering, to taking care of those robot.
Yeah.
And then all of the screws and every piece of Tesla car actually is staying measured in the computer system, and all of the robot is doing it. So that's really cool. But I don't know about the the energy consuming part, but glad you told me some. But at least I want to say, like, hey, people are trying hard to try to change the situation and reduce the usage of the gas. Yeah.
And I have to recognize too that, like, I ride my bicycle most everywhere, but like I have to recognize that's kind of radical. And a lot of people in the world live, our whole life's been designed kind of, especially here in the western part of the United States, our cities were designed around cars, around vehicles. So to say, like, some people drive, there are people that, like, lots of people that drive 20, 30, 40 miles every day into work. And to say, like, we're not going to have cars anymore and just go straight to like other modes of transport, or to vilify cars is not the right answer either. We need to have cars. And so that's why the electric vehicle it's a good space.
Yeah.
It's just, there are other options and there are other things we need to support besides that,
I don't have a car, but when I choose car to rent, I would prefer electronic car. So I think now is a good option for me. So at least I have options.
Yeah. Yeah. And by doing that, like I said, you're voting with your wallet, sort of. So when you rent a car that's a Tesla, you're telling the company, like, you're like increasing the demand for an electric vehicle, like a little bit, for the rental company, right? And so they're going to say, well, or Turo or whatever it is. So that's going to help make it more popular and help companies like transition faster to fully electric vehicles or for more sustainable modes of transport. So yeah, definitely totally a good thing. So
yeah, sure. Let's see what's next. We're going to talk about recycling.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about the Canada situation. So I lived in Quebec province and in Toronto. So it's two different provinces. One is Quebec province, another one's Ontario. So I feel like Quebec actually does a better job because the atmosphere there is different, because everyone's like eager to really recycle everything at home, like especially those cans and the plastic bottles. They do recycle in the Metro, a supermarket here. So when you recycle it back, for example, I can take a whole car, my whole I have a friend before, and he has a car, and every time when he go to supermarket, he bring all his cans, those bottles, and also beer bottles, whatever. Like, he just brought all the plastic things and those cans, and then you can change that into money.
Yeah.
So you change it into a receipt, and then you use a receipt, and when you buy stuff, you can take several dollars off. I think that's a good option. Like, but I didn't see here people actually in Toronto, they do a lot of that. So I'm wondering, like, maybe, I don't know, because I feel like maybe in Toronto there are more immigrants, and it's not true. Montreal has a lot of immigrants too. Quebec City also has a lot of immigrants. It's just the atmosphere. Maybe it's more convenient to do so, but seems that in Toronto there are not a lot of people. They won't consider, they will bring all of this said, you say that it's recyclable, but actually you bring it there, people will say, oh, we don't take it. And then we don't have the incentive to do that. And a lot of supermarket, I didn't see that people is doing that. So if I didn't see other people doing that, so I don't have an influence back from other people. That's why in my memory, I will remember like when I was studying in Quebec City, and there are people, they do it every day. Every time I go to supermarket, people do that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm curious that people is really doing that. Yeah. So like everyone's influencing each other. That kind of atmospheres makes me want to do that.
Yeah.
But here, if I say I'm going to do that, people are going to laugh at me. People are going to give me that kind of look. I was like, oh, people will think that I'm poor. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, that kind of feeling, the atmosphere is different. So
yeah, it is. And I think that's why it's important to just like look at it as like an environmental, somebody that's interested in it, is like you yourself just be like, know, like, okay, this is the right thing to do for the environment, and start doing it, because eventually your friends will see you doing it, and your family will see you doing it, and they'll be like, oh, this is an option I could do, you know. That's what I have happen here, because there's not a lot of people in Phoenix bicycle, you know, but I'll bicycle places, and I'll go to the grocery store, and I have pannier bags that I put on my bike, and I can get all my groceries in there. And I had my niece make some little, so for the produce in the store, I had my niece make me, just out of like recycled material, like cloth, like little bags for my produce. So instead of using the little plastic bags in the produce area, in the fruit and vegetable area, I have little cloth bags I can put my stuff in. And other people see that, and enough people know, like, oh, he's doing that for environmental reasons, you know. And I think that's cool. And I want to do that too, you know. I can't think like I'm so great. I think everybody, if they can figure out a way to do it, I think they initially want to do good in the world and be climate friendly. Well, recycling you were asking about, right?
Yeah, sure. But I think you're definitely doing that to, I'm sure you're inspiring other people when you are doing that.
Yeah, other people will catch on. So if you can be a pioneer in your area.
Sure, yeah,
of course. You know, and actually, at least I'll think you're like a lot cooler than they are. So
yeah, that's a way to see it, that as a positive effect, as a positive impact.
Yeah. And by the way, just so in case anybody's watching it, I am drinking a beer right now.
Yeah, that's by recycling.
I'm gonna recycle it though. I will recycle it.
Yeah, good job.
No, on recycling though, what I was gonna say was just since that was your question, I didn't really answer it. So recycling, I think there's a couple things. Like for me, recycling is like the second best option. The first best option for anything to me is like not buying the thing in the first place, reducing your consumption of it, or if you're buying like a product, like a product that you use a lot, like buying a used product instead of a new product, which is better on your finances, but it's also you're not contributing to that cycle of consumerism that's so damaging. So that's what I try to do, and I try to not buy, you know, like I said, like packaging that needs to be. If I can find a product without packaging at all, then that's what I'll try to buy. If there's a choice there, and then the other thing about recycling is a lot of us do what's called wish cycling. So wish cycling is just taking whatever garbage that you have and throwing it in the recycle bin without knowing whether or not it's actually recyclable. Does that make sense? So you're wishing that it's going to be recyclable. And that's where I think the education comes in. And it's partially like the cities need to do a better job educating people. But we need to try to take that on ourselves, to take responsibility for that, to educate ourselves. So sorry, did you cut out for a sec?
Tim, the internet cut off for a second. It's coming back. Okay, let's finish that sentence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just repeat the
last sentence.
recycling, and I said
Mhm.
I forgot what I said, but anyways, yeah, not buying the product in the first place is key, and then educating yourself
Yeah,
on
sure, the education part.
educating yourself and encouraging your city to have educational materials on recycling that are easily accessible and good
Mm,
to teach the people how to like do. And then of course having a city, some cities don't even have a recycling program, you know,
mm,
some towns don't even have a recycling program. But then the other thing about recycling too is it's dependent on your country, China, a lot, who accepts most of the recycled goods and actually recycles them. So
yeah.
China's not going to accept it if you just throw every piece of garbage in there that's not actually recyclable, because it just costs too much, you know.
Yeah.
So we do depend on, you know, here in the United States and China, we depend on China to recycle, to have that program, and it has most of the capacity to do that in the world right now.
Mm.
We have to make sure that we are responsible in when we throw things away, so that, you know, we're all connected. That's what I'm saying, we're all connected, and we have to do our best, you know.
I know that the here the UFT University of Toronto, they are doing the trash team, they are doing this kind of project, try to educate the grade 5 students.
Yeah.
So I also know that in Ottawa there is a school, they are specific for environment. They all of the activities related with the environment, eco-friendly actions. So they have a lot of activity. The school is basically focused on that part. So that's really a good way to have this kind of education to be executed. You may to be accepted by those kids first, and then maybe the kids will influence.
Yeah.
Later when they grow up, they know what kind of idea they want, and they can make it into really into a big project. And we don't know, like there's big future there for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
in China there are a lot of actually good things happening. First of all, I know that the air pollution is getting reduced, and second of all, and there's a lot of companies, not company, I don't know it's about government or company, but I know that there are some projects they are ongoing. They use, they link with the recycling of your stuff at home, any kind of stuff you think is recycling, no matter it's clothes or plastic or, you know, metals or boxes. When you recycle to the recycle places, you got some credit from your phone. There's a project about that. So in your cell phone, that's called a smartphone. So every time when you throw out recycling a specific stuff, and then the screen will tell you that you can scan it, and then all those credits or the money goes to your WeChat
So
account.
cool, I love that. Wow. Love it.
Yeah, so I just learned that news, but I don't know whether it's, I never tried it, I never experienced, so I just know that I think it's a very cool project.
What cities is that? What city is that in?
Which city I don't remember, but I know it's in the Sichuan province where people like spicy stuff.
Oh, in Sichuan, so in Chengdu or in that area.
And Chengdu or Chongqing, close by those cities. Yeah, if I didn't make a mistake, but I can definitely try to go back to see the news and let you know the city. Okay, the connection, the connection sucks now. I can't hear you. Just give me a second. Yeah, let's test it. Are you coming back?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, now you come back.
Yeah, my internet's a little bit unstable. So
good. So I will let you know the name of the city in China where they have this kind of project. Yeah, and I also know there are a lot of second-hand recycling project. If you have second-hand clothes, you can sell it in the second-hand market, so that exists. But I know here in North America they have it too, so that's another thing. It's different.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And also, so the last one, is it our last one?
Is that our last question?
Not last one yet. I want to know about about how the, like, especially in the domain, you know, because I know that you're working as a lobby before, because I said that I'm not very familiar with that. Because my education is from China, and I just spent several years in Quebec. I don't know that, I'm not sure whether Canada have this kind of work, this kind of job. And I don't know, like, what is the connection between those policymakers regarding to the pollution issue or plastic issue? That what do you know about those procedures that's ongoing? Like how people, for example, if I have a nonprofit project I want to think about can do, like how it works with the government thing and with the funding, or with the, what do you know about it? What's happening in your city? Or
Oh yeah.
just to give us a little bit general information, you know.
Okay. So so yeah, my job, I don't know if this particular job that I have is advocacy for exists in China, just with the structure of the Chinese government.
It's different. It's completely different.
But what I'm doing is creating I guess guanxi with the with the leaders here in Arizona, right? So so I'm getting to know them and making friendships with them, and also like making policy arguments that work well for their constituents, for their citizens that voted for them, and trying to align that with sustainable action. So I'd go down to the legislature and maybe get up in front of the committee and testify in favor of legislation. And so the way it works, like for nonprofit or a company is for example, like here in Arizona, maybe a company wants to move to Arizona, but they're looking, and maybe they have internal climate goals. They have internal goals to get to net zero. Maybe they come to Arizona and they're like, well, Arizona doesn't have enough of an infrastructure to produce, what's called clean energy, which would be like solar, wind power, like a renewable type energy. And they're like, Arizona doesn't have enough renewable energy to meet my climate goals. So I have to source that energy from out of state, and it costs a bunch of money to transport it over to here. So I'm not going to move to Arizona. So that's where I would come in and say, well, let me go work with the legislature and talk.
Tim, oh, we lost the connection. Tim, could you hear me? Yeah, we're gonna reconnect with Tim again. Good, you're coming back. You're on mute. You're mute.
Sorry, I don't know where you lost me, but I saw you.
Lost for several seconds.
Okay. So I said creating guanxi, right? And
of that.
Did I say it right? I don't even know if I said it.
You said your factory is going no, that kind of company, they want outsourcing.
Yeah, so outsourcing. So maybe a company wants to come to Arizona, but they need a certain amount of energy, and so they're trying to have all like clean energy, and so this company would have to source their energy from their energy needs from outside of Arizona. Because we don't currently have the capacity to produce enough clean energy here in Arizona, and that costs them more. That energy. So to get it outside of the state, and so they would be supportive of Arizona creating more capacity to produce clean energy inside the state, right? And so what that means is, so I can go over to the legislature and say, hey, Amazon or Google wants to move here, but they can't get enough clean energy to meet their needs. And then the legislators are very interested in that, because one of the things that gets them reelected is creating more jobs and economic activity in Arizona.
Yeah, of course.
I can go tell them like, hey, you produce this, and so they like in turn tell the, say like work with our corporation commission, which is over all the utilities in Arizona. Say, okay, Arizona, all the utility producers in Arizona, you have to produce, 50% of your energy as renewable energy by 2030,
Mm-hmm.
and then by 2050 you have to
Mm-hmm.
produce 100% of your energy with clean energy. And then
Mm.
those companies will work hard to meet those goals, and then we'll have clean energy here, and then the companies can come here.
Okay,
So
I
that's
get it.
specific to like a big company. You're talking about like nonprofits, or
Yeah, that's
smaller
different. Yeah.
companies. Yeah, smaller companies. But I do know the federal government has like grants and lots of different opportunities for companies that are in that space of sustainability. So
Mm-hmm.
there are opportunities out there, and the states can do that.
Mm-hmm.
The provinces, the provincial governments of Canada can do that. The Canadian government can do that. So there's endless possibilities of how they can promote, and spur business and nonprofits to be more in that sustainable space.
Mm-hmm.
And there's tons of opportunities. Like right now in the U.S., we just passed over $1 trillion. The U.S. government just passed over $1 trillion infrastructure project, which has
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of stuff in it for sustainability. And
Mm.
we're working on another bill, like other bills, like including the Build Back Better bill, that have more stuff to kind of make our economy a green economy.
Mm-hmm.
And Canada's well on its way to that as well. So
Yeah, Canada has less people, by
yeah,
the
that's
way.
true too. That's people.
um, so if I can understand in another way, so what you're doing actually is work as a consultant, feels like.
Yeah, it could be a consultant.
Part,
Yeah,
some part is, yeah,
yeah,
it
it could be.
depends
It
on
is a
how we
consultant.
define it.
Yeah, it is a consultant, and I like to think of that as my job. But lobbyist, yeah, lobbyist means more. You call it a lobbyist when you're working with the legislature,
Mm-hmm.
because you're really like, um, it shouldn't be this way, but usually lobbyists work in the best interest of the of the company they're representing. And
Mm-hmm.
there's always like competing interests. So there's an element of, like, I think as a consultant you wouldn't have as much, like, I don't know what the difference is, but you wouldn't have as much like competition. You'd be like, I'm just telling you like what is right for your business to succeed. As a
Yeah.
consultant, this is a little bit different because there's like just a lot of competing interests out there in the public, and so it has some different dynamics to it. But yeah, it's similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for the explanation, because I don't know lots of the information in United States. So as
Not a thing.
example, Arizona, especially in your city like Arizona, could give us a little bit information about how it works in United States. So let us know
Yeah.
the difference between China, Canada, and the
Yeah,
United
for
States.
sure.
That would
For
be
sure.
very interesting. Yeah. So let's see what's the last question. Yeah, about news about recent and ongoing projects in sustainable environment. What do you know what's happening? What's the biggest thing right now? Let's just talk about the big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing has got to be that infrastructure bill.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then the other thing that always comes out, like recently, there's always new like studies coming out saying how we just need to move faster. We just faster on sustainable policy as a globe. And so I think that's really what I'm seeing is just a lot of news on that and the
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure bill. And then I think more and more every day people are becoming more aware of this issue and wanting to do their.
Sure.
I can't, you know, like I said, I think
Absolutely. Yeah.
everybody, if they have the ability to do it,
Mm-hmm.
um, they I think almost everybody on the planet Earth says, yeah, I want to do better at protecting the trees and nature, and doing good for other people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, we're more and more on that track. It's just we're kind of in a race, against the, like, all the momentum of a global economy that is very wasteful and very environmentally destructive right now. So it's kind of like slowing down the train,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't stop right away. So,
Yeah.
but the earlier you start.
Oops, Tim, lost you again. Just give me a second. Let me see the internet right now. No, I can't hear you. Not yet.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Yeah, good.
I don't know if I got cut off either.
Only the last sentence.
Okay, not important. I mean, I just like I was talking about a train, stopping a train, and you pull the brake, and it takes a while for that train to stop. So, not that we're pulling the brake on the global economy, but we're kind of switching tracks, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. I love the way you talk about it because it's so simple. Otherwise, we're going to use a lot of jargons. We're going to talk about, we cannot go far away, go to the philosophy one because we have to come back to the reality to see what is happening, what we can do here. I really appreciate what your sharings. And so we're going to talk about how we met. So we know each other from Landmark.
Yeah, we know each other from.
Do you think it's okay to tell people?
Yeah, what is it? Self-expression and leadership program.
Yeah, self-expression leadership program.
So we're both working to provide leadership in the sustainability, eco-friendly action space, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we have similar goals, even though sometimes our project goes a little bit off, but we always coming back. That's why we are in the same a big team and to keep us on in the track, so we keep our momentum doing the project we want to do. Yeah, so no regret in our life because we did it at least 4 months. We are still making it into reality, make it into at least the YouTube channel people can see.
Yeah, which is cool. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. And I think like your audience, which I think is probably a lot like maybe Chinese Canadians.
Yeah, for sure.
Chinese Americans, and I think you all have a huge role to play in this. Even though China's on the track, you're going to go. You have connections, family over there, and so both like China and the U.S. are the two big dogs in the global economy right now. And it's like fighting or whatever, but it's like we all need to. China and the U.S. both need to be fully committed to this. The whole planet,
That's a good word, commitment. Commitment is about our mission in this world.
Commitment to the world,
to be more friendly to each other in the space that we agree with each other, like the environment. That's what we all agree with, like the art, the music, right? It's not only wars in trading or in politics.
We depend on each other in ways that I think people don't recognize. So so it's I'm all about it, and I'm all for people. I'm all for people, and have a lot of great friends in China, living in China currently, and
nice.
So it's and I care about them like they're like brothers of mine. Went to business school with and things like that. So it's like
now we have the sense of the community.
we're all connected, so it's very cool.
Community is one, and we only have one earth, and we connect with a lot of people even though we are in different countries. Now the Zoom or the computer, the chatting system made us into a one village now.
No doubt. It's cool. I like it.
Okay, so let's see what we missing today. Did we finish all the topics? Yes, we did it.
I think so, yeah.
So, and I only the last one. So do you know about anything about the David Suzuki Foundation or Association? Have you ever heard about it?
Not familiar with that. What is?
It's also it's an organization in Canada. They are located in BC province. It's also about the environment. They know about some like climate change thing. Like they have a lot of projects ongoing too. And I attended their event just last Wednesday. Yeah, I learned a lot of things, but I'm gonna share maybe next time. So just to let you know a little bit this time.
Okay.
Yeah, so you will get more next time in the next episode. So I
Okay.
really appreciate you joining our game in the zone now.
Awesome.
And we
Yeah.
made it. And really, thank you very much for your sharing for all of the things that's happening in Arizona and also in your life and in your project.
Yeah, thanks,
And
Lily.
hopefully we can do another episode next time.
Sure thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
looking
down.
forward to the next time.
I'm down, Lily. I won't bring a beer next time, I promise.
No, I think beer thing is good because we care about those beer things. We want to recycle the
Yeah.
example. I love it, the idea, because I want to make it casual. So
All right.
okay, great. So we're gonna see you next time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a great day. Yeah. See
Bye.
you. Bye. I'm gonna stop.